Many might think that as long as they contribute to their superannuation according to the law, they can retire safely and securely. Your retirement life might be bleak if that's what you think. You not only have debts to pay off, but you may also end up living on a government pension with little dignity. The retirement system in Australia is not as great as you may imagine. And with 5 reforms to Australia's retirement system coming in 2025, many people's retirement plans will be significantly impacted. Some of these changes are good, some are bad, and the last one will even push up property prices. If you use this to your advantage, it could create wealth for your retirement. Hi, I'm Alex. Welcome to Aus Property Strategy, where I share information about real estate investment, economic trends, and wealth creation. If you like this video, smash the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell to watch new weekly videos. Without further ado, let's get into it. In Australia, your retirement is funded by your own superannuation contributions. And if it's not enough, the government will give you more support via an age pension. Number 1, funding your own retirement, superannuation. Under the Australian retirement system, employers are required to contribute a separate amount of money on top of the employee's salary. This money goes into a fund managed by companies like Australian Super, Cbus, and Hostplus. These funds are responsible for managing and investing the money in a relatively stable way to generate returns while also charging a management fee. The money belongs to you, but before retirement, the law requires it to be managed by the fund. After retirement, you can withdraw and use it. This is the primary source of retirement funding in Australia. You can see how much you've contributed and how much you'll receive. Everything is transparent, and no one can touch your money. If you have a formal job, your employer contributes to your superannuation. If you don't have a formal job and don't contribute voluntarily, this part of retirement funding will not be available to you. Number 2, government-supported retirement, age pension. When you reach 67, you might be eligible to receive this payment. This is a basic living allowance provided by the government through Centrelink for low-income individuals after retirement. However, it's not easy to qualify for this. There are 3 tests: income, assets, and residency. A residency test. At the time of application, you must be physically in Australia and be a permanent resident or citizen for more than 10 years, with at least 5 years of continuous residency. This means that newly arrived immigrants are not eligible for age pension. Income test. If your income is high, your age pension will decrease. For a single person, if your income is below $214 every 2 weeks, the age pension is unaffected. If it exceeds this, the age pension is reduced by half. For couples, if the income is below $372 every 2 weeks, there's no impact. But if it exceeds, the age pension is reduced by half. If your income exceeds the upper limit, the age pension will stop completely. And the current income limit is $2,400 every 2 weeks for a single person and $3,700 for couples. If you're receiving other government benefits, the age pension will also decrease accordingly. Assets test. The assets test includes everything except your primary residence, investment properties, cash savings, overseas assets, debt owed to you, and so on. To qualify for a full age pension, you can have between $314,000 and $470,000 in assets besides your home. For partial age pension, you can have between $680,000 and $1.03 million in assets. With these strict conditions, how much can you actually receive from the age pension? Payments are made every 2 weeks. A single person can receive up to $1,100, while couples can get up to $1,700. Given the current cost of living crisis in Australia, I doubt whether this amount is enough to cover food and utilities. Moreover, the payment amount hasn't changed for several years, and with rising inflation, the real purchasing power is gradually shrinking. As you can see, the age pension is merely a safety net to keep people from starving. It doesn't offer a dignified retirement. To maintain a stable life, you must combine the age pension with superannuation. But can superannuation alone truly secure your future? The amount of superannuation you need for retirement depends on factors like when you retire, your life expectancy, debt situation, and desired quality of life. However, the industry standard generally suggests that if you want a comfortable retirement, meaning a decent car, the ability to renovate your kitchen and bathroom, good private health insurance, dining out at restaurants, and the freedom to enjoy outdoor activities and travel without too many restrictions, a single person would need to spend $51,000 per year, while a couple would need $72,000 per year. Keep in mind that these figures apply to the 20 years period between the age of 65 and 84, based on purchasing power as of March 2024, and assume that there are no outstanding car loans or home mortgages. It's hard to imagine how, when young people struggle to buy homes, pay off loans, earn enough income, and inflation remains high with Australia's economy in decline, Australians would have the chance to meet these comfortable retirement standards. According to the Australian Taxation Office, the average superannuation balance for Australians aged 60 to 64 is $210,000 for men and $160,000 for women. This is only enough to avoid poverty in retirement. In comparison, having a paid-off home at the time of retirement is far more important than having a large superannuation balance. And this is why the Australian government has introduced a plan to help people use their superannuation to buy a home. We'll talk about that shortly. Although owning a home and investing in property is crucial, I still recommend that our Vision members and channel followers contribute more to their superannuation. There are several important reasons for this, and each is directly related to personal wealth accumulation. Many believe that Australian retirement system is excellent. As long as you diligently contribute to your superannuation as required, you'll be able to enjoy a comfortable retirement. Of course, if you have a high-income job that is stable, like a university professor or a doctor, where your employer makes additional contributions beyond the legal requirement, you might indeed achieve that goal. But after you've seen my previous analysis, you should understand that in most cases, simply working hard and contributing to superannuation without thinking or adjusting your strategy is far from enough to support a comfortable retirement life. Some people also think that retirement is a distant concern, using this as an excuse to remain mentally lazy, avoiding planning for the future, and not learn financial knowledge. If you're 35 years old today and have just started contributing to your super with an annual income of $100,000, by the time you retire at 67, you have a balance of $460,000 in your retirement account. If you spend $57,000 per year, this amount will last you until you are 92. Keep in mind this calculation already considers moderate superannuation investment returns and management fees. $57,000 per year is only half of your current income, which means a decline in your quality of life. And if you plan to spend $100,000 per year in retirement, you'll run out of money by the age of 74, after which you'll have to rely on a government pension. The assumed investment return in this scenario is 6.5% per annum before retirement and 7.3% per annum after retirement. But how many super funds can actually deliver that kind of return? Another assumption is that wages increase by 4% annually while inflation is 2.5%. This is even more unrealistic, as it assumes that people's purchasing power will continue to grow and that they will become wealthier. This assumption is completely out of touch with the current situation in Australia, where we are experiencing high inflation, low wage growth, and a decline in purchasing power. So I'm not too confident in the above calculations. In reality, the outcome will likely be much worse. That is why retirement is not as far away as some might think. The earlier you start planning for retirement, the more time you have to identify problems and find solutions, making it more likely that you'll enjoy a comfortable retirement. If you're in the 25 to 35 age group and believe in YOLO, feel free to ignore what I've said. But when you're close to despair, you're welcome to come to me for advice. Another common misconception is, why should I save into superannuation if I can't access it early? It's true that once you contribute to your super, you can't touch it until retirement. But the point of contributing to super is to curb your current spending and prepare for your retirement. So it's normal that you can't use it right now. You're free to choose your investment options within your superannuation account. For instance, you can log into your account and choose to buy insurance or select an investment portfolio offered by the super fund. In fact, you can think of superannuation as a low-barrier fund management company that sells you low-risk, pre-mixed financial products and charges a management fee. This setup works for most people, including those who don't understand financial investments at all. The only limitation is that you can't buy individual property with your super. However, you can address this limitation by setting up a self-managed super fund. If you're interested in this topic, please leave a comment below and I will make a video on this topic. Starting from July 1st, 2024, Australia's superannuation system will undergo 5 major changes. These changes significantly impact those contributing to superannuation in Australia. Let's go through them one by one. Number 1, superannuation contribution rate increases to 11.5%. The mandatory minimum superannuation contribution rate will increase from 11% of your salary last year to 11.5% this year. For example, if you earn $100,000, your employer will contribute an additional $500 this year. After superannuation tax at 15%, you have $425 left. Don't underestimate that $425. If you're 35 years old now and plan to retire at 65, contributing an extra $424 each year with compound interest at 6.5%, your superannuation balance could increase by $40,000 in 30 years. The contribution rate will rise to 12% in the 2025 financial year. While this is good news for employees, it increases the burden on businesses, potentially slowing Australia's economic growth to some extent. Number 2, superannuation co-contribution increases. The government's co-contribution scheme encourages individuals to contribute more to their superannuation by adding a bit more from the government side. However, this is subject to income requirements. If your income is too high, the government won't contribute. Starting from July the 1st, the low and mid-income thresholds will rise. If your annual income is below $45,400 or below $60,400 and you make additional super contributions with your after-tax income, the government will contribute up to $500. This policy is essentially encouraging you to contribute more to your super, so the government doesn't have to support you entirely in retirement. Number 3, superannuation contribution caps increase. From July the 1st, the annual pre-tax contribution cap will increase by $2,500, reaching $30,000. Last year, the cap was $27,500. This effectively provides additional tax benefits. If you're an employee contributing 11.5% of your income to super and not hitting the $30,000 cap, you might consider sacrificing more of your pre-tax income into superannuation. Make sure to plan ahead and consult a financial planner. The after-tax contribution cap will increase by $10,000 to $120,000. Some might ask, if it's after-tax income, why put it into superannuation? Well, number 1, the investment earnings within super are taxed at only 15%, and capital gains is taxed at 10% before retirement. If you don't put the money into super, you might invest in stocks or funds, but any income you generate will be taxed at your marginal tax rate, which is much higher. Number 2, if you have a self-managed super fund, you can contribute funds to buy a property. When you sell the property in retirement, any capital gains are entirely tax-free. Whereas selling an investment property in your own name could see you paying up to 45% in capital gains tax. Number 3, superannuation can also be used for financial planning and wealth transfer, offering numerous benefits. Number 4, increase in the bring forward rule. This year, under the after-tax contributions rule, one can contribute up to $360,000, which is $30,000 more than last year's limit, as long as your superannuation balance is below $1.66 million as of June 30th. You can use up your after-tax contribution limits for this year, next year, and the year after all at once. This is particularly beneficial for those who've earned extra income this year and are looking to use their self-managed super fund to buy a property, giving them greater flexibility. Number 5, First Home Super Saver Scheme becomes more flexible. Starting on September the 15th, the First Home Super Saver Scheme became much more flexible and practical. The basic idea behind it is that individuals can use voluntary pre-tax contributions placed into their superannuation to withdraw up to $50,000 early for the purpose of buying a home. The conditions are 1, it must be your first home purchase. Number 2, it must be a primary residence. Number 3, the home can be a second-hand property, a new apartment, or newly built house. Number 4, both partners in a couple can each withdraw $50,000 to buy the same home. These voluntary additional contributions are above the 11.5% mandatory employer super contributions and can include salary sacrifices, personal contributions, spouse contributions, or even contributions from parents, with a wide range of potential sources. Essentially, this allows people to use their income taxed at 15% to save for a home, leveraging tax benefits and the ability to withdraw super early to help young people enter the housing market. Given the current challenges young people face in Australia in terms of affording a home, this policy plays a significant role. However, the scheme has several restrictions. For instance, once you apply, you can't change your mind. And since saving through this scheme can take a long time, the inability to change plans has deterred many. With the September 15th reforms, one significant change is that as long as the money hasn't been withdrawn from super, you can change your mind at any time, whether that's cancelling the plan or modifying it. Another change is that instead of needing to apply within 14 days of signing a contract, you now have 90 days. Those who previously failed in their applications can now reapply. In short, with the policy easing up significantly on September the 15th, it's almost a no-brainer to participate in the scheme, and you can withdraw without any responsibility if you choose to cancel. This unleashes the power for young people to buy homes. If you're a property investor, you'll quickly realize that a large group of young people will now be able to afford entry-level homes, and as a result, the prices of such properties will gradually be pushed up in the near future. So when you see a downturn in the property market, don't worry. At any moment, the government could launch a stimulus plan aimed at making homes more affordable, and those of us who invest in real estate will benefit as well. The Vision membership service offered by Aus Property Strategy is based on wealth planning, helping you achieve your financial goals through property investment. If you've made it this far, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and share this with your friends. Turn on the notification bell to watch new weekly videos, and have a good one. Bye.